Cleve Jones. Hello, thank you. It's wonderful to be back in Vancouver, and I was here last year for Pride and was so impressed with it. And you know, you're very lucky to live in this city. It's a beautiful city, filled with beautiful people. And I was struck by the wonderful irony. It's very cool and I think very Canadian that as we commemorate the 40th anniversary of a riot against police repression, we launch Pride Week here with the wonderful statement of support from your Chief of Police. I think it shows how far we've come. I think it's also very important to remember how far we still have to go. And while you in Canada have achieved equality under the law, I come from a country where we are still very, very far from that. And so as we celebrate the strides that we've made, I think it's crucial that we remember that this struggle is not over, that there are many countries on this planet where homosexuality is punished by death, and that even in my country, there are many states where LGBT people have virtually no protection whatsoever under any law. On October 11th in the United States, we are going to be marching again on Washington, D.C. And while previous marches have been built around a long list of demands, we are marching on October 11th with one demand and one demand only. We want equal justice under the law in all matters governed by civil law in all 50 states. And in all of the countries that I've been visiting, I've been letting people know this because we'd like to ask you to show solidarity with us in our struggle on October 11th by holding rallies in front of U.S. consulates and embassies worldwide. And I believe that there is a consulate here in Vancouver. So I would appeal to you on Sunday, October 11th. By all means, if you've got the frequent flyer miles, come to Washington, D.C. and join us. But if not, it would be wonderful if you could hold a rally in support of us. I also want to just briefly mention that I work today with Unite Here International Union, which is the union representing hotel and restaurant workers in the United States and Canada. And as part of that job, I've had the great pleasure of working with Local 40 here in Vancouver and Local 75 in Toronto. And part of my job is to look for any and all opportunities to continue to build the alliance between organized labor and the LGBT movement. Our union, Unite Here, is unequivocally in support of full equality for all people: lesbians, gay men, bisexual people, transgender people. In fact, our union negotiated the contract with Disneyland that protected the rights of transgender workers at Disneyland. So Snow White is safe. I need to mention that we do have a situation here in Vancouver where it would be wonderful if the LGBT community and the larger community would show their support for these workers who are, of course, the backbone of the hospitality industry. And I'm talking about the situation with the Coast Hotel in the West End that is now being converted to apartments. And there's 150 workers there. They and their families are going to lose their livelihood because Coast is refusing to transfer them to the new Coast property at Cole Harbour. So I think that this is an important chance for the LGBT community and the larger community to support those workers, and I want to encourage you to do that. Harvey Milk, I assume most of you have seen the film. If you've seen it, you've really met Harvey Milk, because Sean Penn is such an extraordinary actor, and I think all of us who knew Harvey were absolutely astonished at the performance that Sean delivered. He really inhabited that character and became Harvey. But meeting Harvey, getting to know him, was the single most important thing that has ever happened to me in my life. Everything that has occurred since then really goes back to meeting Harvey. And I think Harvey Milk's message was simple and as important today as it was back then. We need to come out. We need to be honest about who we are, reveal ourselves to our families, to our friends, our neighbors, and our co-workers. And we need to be very clear that we are equal in every respect. We are equal in our ability to form and sustain loving relationships. We are equal in our ability to parent, to foster parent and adopt. We are equal in our ability to work and to build strong neighborhoods and healthy communities. We are equal in our ability to serve in the armed forces. We are equal in the eyes of God, and soon will be equal under the law in my country, in your country, and someday in every country on this planet. So thank you so much for bringing me back to Vancouver. I love it here very, very much. Thank you all for inviting me.